The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning, Andy Brownell, News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM, along with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
Wonderful to speak with you again.
Nice talking to you as well.
We've gotten through our scorching heat, and boy, yeah, it was a hot one, wasn't it, this week?
My gosh, it was miserable.
It's been a while since we've had that kind of humidity and those kind of temperatures for that long of a period of time, that's for sure. So,
yeah.
I noticed I received an update from your office regarding real estate activity here in southeastern Minnesota, and particularly in the Rochester area. It appears things are going pretty well.
Things are definitely going well. I mean, even though our inventory is still crazy low, a total of 1,149 homes available, and that's in all of southeastern Minnesota, rather, all of CMAR. So that's down almost 21% over this time last year. So we really have very little inventory, which means if you are a seller, it is a wonderful time to sell because, you know, you don't have a lot of competition and there are a lot of qualified buyers out there.
I bet.
If you're a buyer, it causes a little frustration because there's not a lot to look at.
And that's been, I was looking at the chart, and we've mentioned this before. This is a problem, or an issue, I better say, that we've been dealing with locally in the real estate market.
It's a reality, yeah.
For years and years.
Yeah. And it's been going on and on and on. And I feel like, thank goodness the construction workers were considered essential and they didn't have to stop building houses. Even while a lot of other people who were essential were staying home, the construction workers felt pretty safe to be on site because it's usually just, you know, their crew and they could certainly keep their distance and stuff. So
Sure.
Home building continued to happen. And I think that we'll definitely see that for the rest of the building season, you know, all the way until the dead of the winter.
I also noticed, looking at the charts, that things are kind of more or less matching up with the historical record as far as pending sales and those sort of statistics. That prior to this, we were kind of seeing things crazy different because of the pandemic. And this looks more normal for this time of the year.
Yes. So last year, during this past week, there would have been 21 new listings. And this year, we have 32 new listings this past week. So, you know, it sounds like, wow, how come we have 11 more new listings if the inventory is so low? And it's just simply because those are the homes that would have been listed, you know, in April or May, and instead they're being listed now. So
okay.
We're in our spring market. Again, we are in our spring market.
And you have mentioned in previous weeks that some of the folks who gobble up the homes during that spring market when the new Mayo Clinic people are coming into town, that they may have signed leases.
A lot of them did.
So those leases will be expiring coming up, I imagine.
Yep. Well, you know, I think they probably signed them starting in like May, knowing that their residencies started in June. So May, June, July, August, September. So come fall, there'll be we'll have that kind of surge with a lot of those residents as well.
Yeah. And I always, one thing that's really neat about the local market, and you've talked about this again before, but I've noticed it on my own, that in a lot of places you have to own a home a lot longer period of time in order to realize a gain off of that.
Right.
And that has not been the case here locally, and so these folks who are here short term, it's still a good move to actually own the house, correct?
Oh my gosh, because the absolute worst case scenario is they're going to walk away and get their money back. In other words, they will have done their residency and lived here for free while doing it. Can't beat that.
No, you can't. That's a pretty good scenario. That's for sure. Are we still seeing the homes on the higher end of the market out there that are available for those who are looking perhaps to upgrade?
I would say they're starting to come on even a little more strong now, because I know that people are saying, oh, it's an election year. We never know what's going to happen in an election year. We know what's going on right now. We know where the interest rates are right now. We've talked about this last week. Mayo has gotten their feet back under them, and people are back up to their normal pay, and they're back to hiring. So things are looking, good there, which is a good sign for all of us. So I feel like we are seeing houses move in all price points.
All right.
Not just that first-time home buyer.
And that means you must be busy all the time.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, been very, very busy. And I don't know if you saw it. I know sometimes you see my posts on Facebook, but I don't know, whatever day it was, a couple of days ago, and it was so hot. I was in Rochester, and they were talking about the heat index is 97 degrees, and I was like dying, and we were running around, and we had taken Scott's pickup truck to work that day because we thought it would be a smart idea, because I had bought this big, beautiful fountain at Carousel, and I wanted to go pick it up. So we took his pickup truck, which is, by the way, a 2020 with less than 2,000 miles on it, and the air conditioning went out.
Oh.
I was dying, okay? And so I was like, okay, how did we ever survive? Because when we were first married, rarely did we have a car where the air conditioning actually worked.
Right.
So we did it. We just did it. I remember one time borrowing Scott's mom's car to go to a wedding so that we could actually shut the windows and have air conditioning. But I'm telling you what, those days are behind me, and driving in a car with no air conditioning, not fun. So so I'm going to tell you right now, people are definitely looking at the air conditioning units when they're coming into these houses and making sure that they're, working well, because we just can't be without it in this weather.
It's amazing how much we rely on it now. When you mentioned that in the early days, you very rarely had a vehicle where the air conditioning worked. I also remember all our vehicles had the crank windows, too.
Oh, my gosh, yes. Yeah, somebody put on my post, I remember the days of 460 air conditioning, 460 air conditioning. And I'm like, what in the world? And then they said, 4 windows down, driving 60. It's not good. It's not good.
No, we were younger, though. We could handle that better.
It sure is beautiful this weekend, though. And I'll tell you what, if you think you want to get out of the house and go do something, we got a lot of nice open houses to check out.
You do. So I'll tell you what, why don't we take a quick break, and we come back, we'll go over some of the wonderful open houses coming up this weekend with Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group-RE results right here on News Talk 1340 KROC AM at 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. I'm Andy Brownell with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results and open houses. We took a weekend off last weekend because of the big Independence Day holiday, but you're busy this weekend.
Yes, we are. So I have been talking to you about this new neighborhood that I have at Old Essex Estates, and I'm so excited about it because it is a townhome neighborhood with high-end, nice townhomes, big, spacious units, and we've got the first 2 units pretty much ready. The one at 888 Piccadilly Lane Northwest will be held open both today from 11 until 12:30 and again tomorrow from 11 until 12:30. And if you haven't been out there to see those, I would highly recommend those. Those are really nice. They have 2 beds, 2 baths, a sunroom. They've got granite tops, and they've got engineered wood floors. They've got gas fireplaces, vaulted ceilings, 2-car garage. They have 1,503 square feet finished on the main with an additional option to finish the lower level. So they could be, as big as a pretty large house, or
Right.
or pare down to the 1,500 square feet, all on the main with good storage below. Anyway, those are $379,900. Steel siding, real brick fronts. I mean, very nicely built, custom built by Dan Severson, and the neighborhood is going to fill up. It's got like 3 different cul-de-sacs. It's going to be a really cool looking neighborhood, which, backs all the way up to Essex Park. So I'm excited. It's one of those deals where once the neighborhood takes off, then people hear about it and their friend moved there, so then they want to come out and look at it. So then it's a snowball effect.
Sure.
So we just want to get these first 2 units sold, and then we're going to be digging the next 2 units, which are going to be slab on grade right next door. And the floor plan's a little bigger. We've got that available at the open house today. So I encourage people. It's a perfect day for open houses. So I hope to see some traffic at 888 Piccadilly Lane Northwest, either today or tomorrow between 11 and 12:30.
So is the easiest way to get there, you turn off by the fields,
Yes.
by the soccer fields, and go to the west, and then take a right-hand turn?
Yeah, you can take Londonderry and follow it all the way back, and we'll have signs out, so it'll make it easy for people to find us, because it might seem like it's tucked back there, but once you've driven back there once or twice, it's pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
And like we talked before, it's so nice because you're literally minutes. I mean, you're not far from anything, but when you're there, you feel like you're in the country, and you can hear 0 road noise, and you hear the birds chirping, and it's lovely. It's really nice.
You probably on a summer night can even hear the creek.
Probably. I've had neighbors come through the past couple of times that I've held open houses. The neighbors always come to your open houses, right? And they have all talked about how much they just love living out there. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very big hit, and I'm anxious for people to come out there and get acquainted and start signing contracts.
And those first 2 units, you say, are just about ready to have
Yeah.
people living in them.
And 888 could be done in a matter of days, just putting in the appliances, but 884 is a little bit behind that. But yeah, they're looking really good. You can really come out now and see what they look like.
Okay. Any other open houses?
Yeah, we actually have a new listing that we just put on the market yesterday, and this weekend's probably going to be your only opportunity to get into that one, because it's, $249,900. So it's kind of that sweet spot that we've talked about. And this is right over by Quarry Hill Park. The address is 1701 10th Street Northeast. And it is raised ranch. So it's got a tuck-under garage, and then a family room downstairs, or actually they've created it into a bedroom. They've updated, remodeled the bathroom, and the laundry room's down there. And then the main floor is really big. It's got, I don't know, let me see if I can find it here. It's probably 2,000 square feet on the main. So it's a total of 3,000 square feet. So I'd say it's like 2,000 up and 1,000 down. But it's really nice. The people have lived in it for 28 years. It's been meticulously maintained, and a lot of nice upgrades have happened. So definitely want to check that out if 250 is your price range. Both this morning from 10 o'clock until 11:30, and then tomorrow from 11 o'clock until 1:30.
Okay.
So
that's going
to be a good one.
That's a nice, quiet neighborhood over there.
It's a really old neighborhood and so established. And a lot of people, if you don't know somebody there, if you haven't visited somebody, a lot of people in Rochester haven't even driven up over into that area.
Oh, really? I guess, yeah.
You've been there forever, right? So, yeah, you probably had lots of friends that lived there.
I know people who grew up in that neighborhood, so.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been around.
It's really nice. And this one's on kind of a, I don't even know if it's a dead end. I don't know if I go back to the street, but it's just a super quiet street. So, yeah, check that one out.
Lots of mature trees in that area that looks beautiful in the fall, and yeah.
And a short walk over to Quarry Hill. So
yeah,
we've got another one that's been on the market, I think, just about a week. Not sure why it hasn't sold yet, but maybe this will be the weekend. This is 374 Norseman Court Northwest, and this one's a 3-bed, 4-bath, 2-car garage, 2-story. It was built in 72, and it has 2,396 total finished square feet. Sits on about a third of an acre with nice big trees. And this one is going to be held open today from 11 till 12:30, and it's $324,900.
And that's Norseman Court.
Yep, Norseman Court. All right, now.
Okay.
This one, if you want to drive, if you want to take a little drive today, and you'd like to live out in Rushford, we've got a beauty that just came on the market out in Rushford. Came on the market on Friday, I believe. The address is 614 Hanover Court. It was built in 1996. It's got a 4-car garage. It's got 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. And it is, I guess I'd call it a story and a half. It's got a total of 3,600 square feet. And beautiful setting, just a beautiful setting. So this one is going to be held open pretty much all day today. First from 10:30 until noon, and then if you don't make it out there this morning but you want to see it, it's going to be held open again from 1:30 until 3.
You have to say all of that all over again because you lost me when you said 4-car garage.
Okay.
I'm kidding, of course.
Isn't that something, though, 4-car garage?
Yeah, you got my attention right away. And Rushford is such a pretty town.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's just nestled in the hills out there. And, I love it in Rushford. It's very pretty out there. So that's a good opportunity for somebody, and that's $359,900. So, again, very affordable. And with the interest rates the way they are, I don't expect that one to take too long to sell at all.
Not with that 4-car garage, that's for sure.
those car enthusiasts.
Well, you have one stall in the garage for every bedroom.
Yep. So every person gets a car.
I like that idea. Or I could have all stalls and.
There you go. And the kids can park outside.
They can park in the driveway.
Oh, funny.
Oh goodness, yeah, that's quite the list of open houses today. So, if I go to the website. The Gwaltney Group website, are all these open houses
Yeah,
listed
they're
there?
all listed. Yeah, they are. And they're actually listed on the Post Bulletin's website. They're listed on the Zillow website, the Realtor.com. So, yeah, you can find them anywhere you can find where the local open houses are listed. You can always find the Gwaltney Group open houses alongside those.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll be right back. And we'll talk more with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results in just a moment on Newstalk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning and welcome back. Andy Brownell along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results on this Saturday morning filled with open houses for the Gwaltney Group. Folks who might have heard us talking about some of these homes and, haven't really thought that much about perhaps moving into a house, maybe a first-time home buyer. I haven't done this before, Robin. I know we've covered this in the past, but actually it was probably over a year ago. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the things you need to know if you want to get into this marketplace right now.
Absolutely. And it's crazy how many people really believe, for whatever reason, they believe that they would not qualify for a mortgage or that they cannot afford a home. But many times they're very happy when they realize that their mortgage payment is going to be equal or sometimes even less than their rent payment. And even if it's slightly above their rent payment, they're thrilled because now that money that they're setting out each month is going towards, their home that they own, their equity.
Yeah.
So people are afraid. People don't like to be rejected. People are afraid that if they go and say, okay, am I ready to buy a house? This is what I owe. This is what I earn. That they're going to hear, oh, no, you're not ready. And so they're afraid, so they don't even want to do it. But truth be told, most are very, very happily surprised when they find out that it's pretty easy, and as long as they've, got decent credit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I know that's another thing that people often think, I've screwed up. I've had some issues with my credit. My credit score is only in the 600s. I've heard that it has to be 750. And, there are benefits to having excellent credit, and sometimes it means lower interest rates. Sometimes it means lower down payment. I mean, there are benefits, but it does not mean that if your credit's not perfect, you're not going to get a loan.
Well, especially with the way the rates are now.
Right.
Even if you get nicked a little bit on the rates, you're still going to have a really, really low rate.
Oh, poor you. You're going to have to pay maybe 3.5% or 4%. Yeah, exactly. And the truth be told, there were days when we would have all loved to pay that.
Oh, gosh, I don't think I ever did.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought we were thrilled when we thought at 4.25%, it'll never ever be lower than that. And
now, if you're going in with poor credit, it's probably not going to be any higher than that. Okay, so yeah, it's really a good time, and I tell people, if you are at all interested in finding out whether or not you qualify to buy a home, just call me, and I'll introduce you to a lender who will ask you some questions. It's not going to affect your credit score. That's another fallacy. People think, if I talk to a lender about whether or not I qualify for a loan, it's going to be a ding on my credit score. No, it only becomes even apparent on your credit score once you've made the decision to have them pull your credit and move forward. And then it's not a ding, and we're allowed so many, inquiries. So people just hear things that scare them.
Sure.
And the truth is, if you want to buy a home and you're curious about whether or not you qualify, it is definitely in your best interest to look into it.
Absolutely.
So,
and the prices of these homes today, I know that intimidates a lot of people. But with these low interest rates, if you calculate it out,
right,
and I'm sure that's something you can help them with or a lender can help them with,
right,
that if you go, oh, goodness, the only homes I can find out there, they're $300,000, $350,000. But we calculated that out a few weeks back, didn't we, when you're at a 3% rate?
Yeah.
Your payments are
similar to what they would have been for $100,000 less. It's
right.
Crazy. So the truth is I've sold a lot of houses to young people in their 20s who say, I'm sick of paying $1,500 a month rent, or I'm sick of paying $1,200 a month rent. I would like to buy a house and get a roommate. And it is so smart.
Oh, goodness. If you can pull that off, and it's, you have a good roommate relationship, you're only paying half the mortgage then.
Well, and if you... maybe even less than half. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If you've got a mortgage payment that's $1,200 and you want to charge your roommate $800, they're not going to have. They're not going to find a nice house where they can live and share everything and have their own bedroom, their own bathroom, their own garage stall for $800. So they're not going to complain.
Yeah, just keep it quiet that the mortgage payment was at $1,200.
Well, really, it shouldn't matter, right? If they're the ones that were smart enough to go and make the investment. And what's so funny is a lot of these people then rent from one of their friends, and then they'll call me and say, yeah, I've been renting from my friend for about a year, and I've loved it. Now I want to buy the house and get one of my friends to rent with me because I want to be the one on the winning end.
Yeah. That equity is such a huge thing down the road.
Oh, it's such a huge... We've talked about the fact that literally when people retire, most of their wealth is in their real estate.
And real estate is the way you become wealthy in this country.
Yeah, it really is. To own property and let that property just to continue to increase in value while you're using it. Think about that. That is an absolute win-win.
So the person who might be a little bit timid about going through this process, what kind of questions are they going to be asked by the lender? Is it going to be, where do you work? And how long have you been there? Those simple questions.
Well, just like basically, how much do you earn? Have you had at least, I don't know how many paychecks they need. It depends on what loan they're going through. Sometimes they just need their first paycheck. It's not like you have to have 10 years in at your job or something like that. If you have a full-time employment and it's not a temporary position or something like that, they just need to see your pay stub, and they'll want to know how much you earn, how much you have in debt. I mean, obviously, what are you paying for your school loans, or what do you owe credit cards or car payment? But it's really basic questions, and I think it's worth the phone call. So definitely, if you're thinking about whether or not you would qualify for a home, do not hesitate to call me. It's not intimidating at all, and I'm happy to set somebody up with a lender.
Speaking of making that call, Robin, how do we get a hold of you?
So if you're thinking about trying to get approved to buy a house, or if you would like to put your house on the market and you're interested in what you would need to do to get your house ready for the market, I would love to help guide you through the process in either case. And feel free to call me on my cell phone at 507-259-4926, or come to our website at gwaltneygroup.com.
Fantastic. And go to the website as well to check out all those open houses taking place today and tomorrow. Robin, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.